Hey everyone, and welcome back to Trade with Draz. Today I am in gorgeous Mexico. I love Mexico. I come here almost every year at this point, and I just never get enough of Mexico. It's so beautiful right now. I cannot get over this. It's super early in the morning. It's actually pre-market right now, and I'm going to do a little bit of trading. I'm not going to do too much since I'm on vacation, but I wanted to get this video out for you guys. It's just about the 8 things I wish I knew before I started trading. So I think it'll be beneficial for anyone watching this to stay tuned and find out how you can learn from my mistakes, and or if you're a new trader, how you can be better prepared going into the trading world. So the first thing I wish I knew before I started trading is that risk management is paramount. I started with Forex, and so, the biggest risk management thing that I was learning when I was a new Forex trader was stop loss. Always use a stop loss, and it's just big on stop losses because you can blow your account. Well, I have stubborn traits just in general, and I ended up carrying those stubborn traits into my trading journey. And that's the thing about trading. Total side note, but trading will really bring out aspects of yourself that you didn't really know were a big enough problem until you start applying them to money. So yeah, I didn't want to use the stop loss. I'm like, no, I would rather be right than profitable. And that could be a whole nother video in itself, right? But I was very stubborn on using a stop loss for whatever reason in the beginning. And I blew like 8 accounts. I blew 8 accounts in the beginning, got it all back, but I blew 8 accounts, some small, one big, one big. And I learned from that, but it took me way too many times for me to have to learn. So risk management is paramount. It's not just some hearsay or some adult trying to give you rules, which is how my rebellious spirit was taking it. No, listen. The next thing I wish I knew before trading is that emotional control is key. Like I touched on in my first video on this channel, trading can evoke strong emotions, both positive and negative, depending on how you look at it. But either way, very strong, very passionate emotions can come from trading, especially when you start trading with big money and or money that you're very attached to. So developing emotional control, self-regulation, because trading is a very solo journey. You are in charge of you. Nobody is telling you anything. This is your money that you're playing with. So you also have to be in control of your emotions and self-regulating yourself. If you feel like you're having an off day in your personal life, don't trade. If you feel like, oh, I know my trading plan was to do 3 trades, but I lost 3 out of the 3, let me just do one more. No, that's revenge trading. So you have to really not only discipline yourself, but you have to self-regulate your emotions and keep yourself in check. Third thing is continuous learning is key. So this is something that I don't have an issue doing. I love learning. Learning new things gets me so excited. It's like literally what I live for. So this wasn't a thing for me, but I just didn't know that I was going to have to continue to learn as I was going through my trading journey. There's always new things coming out. There's always new things to learn. There's still so many strategies that I don't even know. And that's exciting to me that I get to learn these new strategies. I am also going to be tapping into futures trading at some point this year. So there's just always so much to learn, and to stay on top of your news, stay on top of your platform education. Like there was a time where I wasn't really staying on top of on my platform updates. I had silenced the notifications for the emails. They were sending me a bunch of emails, my platform, and I was missing some key things. When I went back and looked at all the new features that my platform had, I was like, wow, I was missing out on these things that I could have been taking advantage of all along. The fourth thing is it can become addicting. It can become very addicting. So watch out if you have an addictive personality. I'm not going to lie, when I first started trading, I had no issue sitting in front of the screen for 8 hours. None at all. Just in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out trading. I was so obsessed with it, and I still have my moments of obsession. It's nice to be passionate. It's nice to be almost obsessed with your craft, right? But you have to keep it in check to make sure that you're not over trading, because to be honest, less trading equals more money. And again, that's going to be a whole nother video because I can go on a tangent about that. But it took me a lot of time to learn that. So in the beginning, I was letting my obsession turn into over trading. Don't do that. Just take that obsession as fuel to want to do better the next day, and fuel to continue your education. Okay, I had to move a little bit because the sun was going over there a little bit too much. But the fifth thing that I wish I knew before I started trading, and this is a big one, there may not be a quality trade every day. And yes, you can trade every day, but there may not be a quality trade every day. Just because you can be in and out of the market all day doesn't mean that you should. Nowadays, I have just really started to embrace the ideology and understanding that a lot of times less trading equals more money. Because when you are picky, okay, you got to be picky, and that is something that I feel like wasn't taught to me when I was first starting to trade. People didn't talk about being picky enough. You have got to be picky. It needs to be a high quality setup. It needs to be a setup that looks like a strategy example. It needs to be a textbook example type setup for you to go all in on something. Don't go all in on everything. If you see an okay quality setup and it checks 3 out of 4 of your boxes for getting in, then, a little bit of money. But going all in on every trade is the quickest way to lose all of your money and become an inconsistent and gambling trader. But it's also a way to get burnt out and discouraged and feel like trading is a scam because sometimes you win and sometimes you don't. Well, yeah, because you're not being picky enough. And when you learn the art of being picky with your trades, you realize that there's not always a quality trade every day. So every day that I go into trading, I want to trade 3 trades. I have my trading plan, which is to do 3 trades a day. That's how my trading plan is set up. But sometimes there's not 3 trades. There's not 3 trades for me to take, and I'm not going to force it. I'm also someone that is really big on learning your charts, learning your stocks. I have 4 to 5 stock charts that I trade, and I don't go outside of those stock charts because why? I know those. I've learned those. I understand those. I appreciate those. They make me money. So when I'm looking at my top 5, sometimes there's not a trade in my top 5. And so I used to go outside my top 5 and try to look at other charts and look at the top movers for the day or look at a stock chart that I abandoned some months ago to try to find a trade. If you have to try to find a trade, there's a high probability that you are forcing it. So long story short, there may not be a high quality trade every day. Number 6 is that patience pays off. Successful trading requires patience in more ways than one, and patience is something that, again, I struggle with in my personal life, and it's carried right on over to trading. Trading requires patience in so many different aspects. It is an underlying kind of attitude of trading is being patient. Not only do you have to be patient enough to know that this is not a get rich quick scheme, and slow and steady wins the race every single time. Small profitable wins build up over time, so there's patience in that aspect. There's also patience in the aspect of letting your trades play out, letting your wins be winners, holding on to a runner. We are so quick to want to hold on to a loss because we think it's going to go in our favor, but we'll cut a win as soon as it gets there every time, and that's not a way to build your account either. So you got to be patient in letting your wins play out, or just letting your trades play out in general. You got to be patient in waiting for a quality trade and waiting for a quality setup and not forcing a trade if it's not there. The 7th thing I wish I knew before I started trading is that after a while, trading can get pretty boring and repetitive. Especially when you're trading the same stocks every day like I do, it can get repetitive, and it can be really just a matter of seeing the same setup and taking the same setup every day. And so, of course, making money is never a bad thing, but it could get boring when you are doing the same thing every day. So contrary to popular belief of trading being like this thrilling thing and people are blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. I've been seeing things on TikTok of people like throwing things at their screen monitors. Like, you should never be that emotional. But, we have this image that it's always this like Wall Street craziness, but consistency is actually very boring and very repetitive, and you will see that when you get into it. So don't try to find that thrill in taking bad setups or bad trades or chasing market movers of the day on stocks that you don't trade. Don't try to find your thrill and excitement that way. Find your thrill and excitement in learning new things, learning new strategies. And last but not least, when it comes to what I wish I knew before I started trading, is protect your mind. Protect your mind from outside bias and internal confirmation bias. And I really want to do an entire video dedicated to this, so I'm not going to get too deep into it in this tip, but you need to be looking at the charts with a fresh pair of eyes every single trading day. Looking at too many different stock channels, stock discords where people are literally putting their predictions out there, and it's good to see that stuff for trying to see if you're on the right path, but don't ever follow that stuff blindly, and don't let that give you bias. Do not let that give you bias. I cannot tell you how this affected me in 2022. This tip affected me so bad in 2022. I was watching certain channels. I was like, we're going to crash, we're going to crash, we're going to crash. And what did we do? We just kept going. And it took longer than I would have liked for me to get that bias out of my system and just cleanse that out of my system, that we're not crashing. Follow the charts. If the chart's looking red that day, follow that. If it's looking green that day, follow that. But don't follow these people on the internet that think that they can predict when the next economic disaster is going to happen. Do not let bias ruin your good judgment and your own inner voice. Do not let it take over, because it can if you do not protect your mind. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm gonna go enjoy Mexico now. The market is opening in 30 minutes. I'm gonna see if I see any trades. If I do, I'm gonna take them. If I don't, then I'm going to go on about my day. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you give it a thumbs up, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.